And you know, I had a relationship with Biggie because once again, I was taking him around during the early because I was an official employee of Bad Boy.
Yeah.
You know, Michigan was my area. So he comes in and Biggie looks so depressed.
50 people.
Yeah, and look, now you know with 50 people, you can hear everything in a venue.
Yeah.
Grand Quarters, that's it. We were at the Grand Quarters on Woodward and the Boulevard, and East Boulevard, right? And so Biggie is doing a show. You can just tell he's with Faith Evans, his wife.
Yep.
They together. And he doing this show and he's like giving it half-hearted, right? And he says, somebody yells, say, "Did you shoot Tupac?"
Oh.
And this was like this was like during the Biggie passed in 97, Tupac died in 96. This was like 95.
Yeah.
And this is like after it was
This
brewing
is the
with
first shooting or the second shooting?
the first shooting.
Okay, yeah.
They thought Biggie, you know, the whole everybody, it's been like 80 million documentaries about it. And so Biggie heard that because there's only 50 people there. So just some regular kid was like, "Did you shoot Tupac?" And Biggie like, "Oh, wait right there." He was like, "Wait right there, I got something for you." 50 people, and Biggie do the show, right? We backstage, anybody could get backstage. It's only 50 people. Everybody that gave up. The promoters like them probably ran off. So this kid have the balls to come up to Biggie, and he thought Biggie was really saying it in just like, "I got something for you." Biggie says, the kid comes say, "Yeah, did you shoot Tupac?" Man, Biggie is a big fella. That guy turned into Mike Tyson. He was like, he whooped that kid's ass.
Oh
I mean,
my
this was
God.
back. He whooped his ass. And I remember Faith, she was back there and she just like, "Oh, Biggie doing his thing." She backed away. And I mean, it wasn't no Junior Mafia. Biggie whooped this kid ass. And this is folklore, and people, those who know, Biggie whooped this kid's ass like for 20. I mean, I never seen, and I'm a big guy, but Biggie was so agile whipping this guy's ass. And I'm like, and he whipped him and he threw him out. Biggie, like, he was a bouncer too. He threw the guy out the back door. And it was just wild. So that might be a show he did. But with Beautiful Machine, I know that like Biggie did a show with Mary J. Blige. He did and then he did arena shows. You know, he did, and the local show I'm talking about was the one, and then he did Shane Park.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and that's in a documentary on Netflix. That was one of his first shows.
Wow.
He did Detroit, because that.
What was your like personal relationship with Biggie? Did you guys have like a good chemistry with each other, or did you guys not talk too much? Like,
No, we were cool. You know what? He's probably, and I'm not trying to lie on history, out of the 10 artists, I'm talking about not from here, because, you know, most artists know my name here. I mean, not the newer artists. Biggie knew my name, because you got to remember, we were around Biggie, you know, like when shit wasn't popping. We had fucking cassette samplers. And so we had to, it wasn't no limos, it was 15 passenger vans. And he would get to a city, "Hey, this is Mark Hicks. He runs Detroit for us." And we would get in there, and then I had to come up with an itinerary, and I had to get it approved by the National. Like I told you about the guys like Renee and different other guys that was my clients. You know, because no artist never hired me directly. It was always the label.
Yeah.
So we would get cool. So we'd be driving around, like I said, for 4 days. And Puffy, his whole marketing strategy was he was combining Notorious Big with Craig Mack. So they had kids that's now they don't know. Big Macs came in like a little container, a styrofoam container. And so Puffy like remarketed that, and he put Biggie and Craig Mack. It was called the Big Mac sampler. And man, Puffy like gave me like 4,000 Big Mac containers with the mixtape in it. And so Puffy like went fucking, man, we did so much for Biggie that I'm talking about, you know, like some companies would give me like 4,000 flyers. Puffy was the type of guy who would give you 20,000 flyers. Anything that a record company did, he would do it in 5. You know, he just was like, "Okay, Mark, you need 1,000 cassette singles." And you know, it was people like, you know, like the Sean Prez. You know, I mean, I had a, you know, Puffy was like, he was the king, but it was like other guys like Harv Pierre, some guys like the marketing that I was dealing with day to day on it. So they would be like, whatever it takes. So if one record company gave out 1,000 cassette samplers, Puffy would give you 10,000. It was like you was gonna work this.
Yes.
And so it was like, so that impact. And then what we missing is, like, say like with Biggie. And I know this for a fact because I was the first person to take him around because I was that bad boy. It was like, you would be in each city for maybe a week max. So we really talking about Biggie would fly in on a Monday and he would be here 6 days. So he'd be doing the Kid L, he'd be doing the record stores. If it's a popular liquor store, he's gonna go. We had a whole itinerary where Biggie would go in and do his shit. And we don't have that no more. So can you imagine if, say, like a Babyface Ray or, you know, or these new artists or Cashed Out, if you said Cashed Out, we taking you to the 10 top cities and you're gonna spend 3 days in each city.
What has been the most intricate ploy for marketing that you've ever done or been a process of?
Ooh. I would say, man, and this kind of like being like, I would say the Eminem explosion. Like everything just happened at the right time. You know, because people, I mean, you know what? Kid L is all about timing. It's not a specific thing. It's almost like a zeitgeist. And it's almost like, you know, when M blew up, it was just at the end of the Jay-Z, Ja Rule era. And you know, kids like in Omaha, they was listening to the Rockefeller tough guy, drug dealing shit. But, you know, they really couldn't relate. But M was a guy who was relatable. He had blue jeans, white shirt. So a kid from North Dakota to a kid who lives in the richest mansion in Manhattan, you know, he was relatable. So anything that I've ever promoted, it has to be relatable. Like Biggie was relatable. You know, it was like, you know, because, you know, he didn't have the best looks, you know. I mean, I'm just saying he had, like, Biggie was very relatable, like a tough motherfucker from the streets kicking it. And with M, he was so relatable. And most of your artists, man, it's just like so... It's the relatable. They can create a whole zeitgeist, you know?
What's the zeitgeist?
Well, a zeitgeist is a time in society where just everything is popping. Like, you know, like I would say Icewear Vezo, when he came out with the
Money Phone?
Money Phone, that just was like, all these kids was out here like hustling and all of this, and you know they were wearing dread, you know, because it was like, you know, a lot of kids was like, that was just a time.
Yeah.
So Vezo just came with a era. He created like an era, you know, and it was just like, it was very smooth. And like I'm not trying to like recreate history, but if you think about it, you know, true enough, the biggest hitters was in my opinion, and just my research, was the T Grizzly and the Dej Loaf Try Me.
Yeah, First Down and Try Me.
But the people, why, and that's what I mean about a zeitgeist. It was like Money Phone created that comfortability where you could be like, you know, try me, or like, you know, or you know, it was like Vezo created something where it was like, it was comfortable to be like, I'm from the East Side.